Alright, so this is Dino Crisis for the PlayStation. This game came out in 1999, produced by Capcom, and actually directed by Shinji Mikami? Dear God, I probably didn't say that right at all. But that's the same guy that created Resident Evil. And, I mean, this game starts off, it's very similar. You're basically like a search and rescue team, or military sort of team, going into this isolated place, and you're not sure really what you're getting into. It's a survival horror game. It plays very similar to Resident Evil, and well, you know what? I can sum it up simply: it's Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Yes, I said it. It's Resident Evil with dinosaurs instead of zombies. Sounds pretty damn silly, but I actually really like this game. Now here's the first time we actually see the full 3D engine of this game. Unlike Resident Evil games on the PlayStation, which used pre-rendered backgrounds, this one's full 3D, sort of like Code Veronica on the Dreamcast. Speaking of the Dreamcast, this game was also ported to the Dreamcast in 2000, and Windows actually for that matter. But, you know, here it is on the PlayStation, and I mean, right away, you have to admit, it's very impressive for the PlayStation. You know, there weren't a lot of full 3D survival games on the PlayStation, and, you know, obviously Silent Hill comes to mind, but, you know, this game's got a lot of atmosphere, and it does a really good job with its 3D engine on the PlayStation. Here's the first puzzle we come up to. You know, as you would expect with these kind of games, you have these puzzles very similar to Resident Evil. I mean, in the first one here, you just want to match the colors up of these batteries so they line up with the colors on the switches that you just saw on the wall to the right. It's just a simple matter of rotating them around until the colors match up. You know, very, very similar to the sort of puzzles that you would get in a Resident Evil game. For those of you who don't really understand what this whole, you know, real 3D versus pre-rendered background means, in the first 3 Resident Evil games on the PlayStation, the backgrounds were not 3D. They were actually just pre-rendered backgrounds, and what that means is that basically they rendered them on a high-end computer at one point, and then basically saved them as pictures, 2-dimensional images. And that's what the first 3 Resident Evil games used for the background. All the characters, yourself, and the enemy on the screen are 3D. But they're 3D objects that are basically just pasted over a 2D image in the background. Okay? So it looks really, really good. But as far as like technical reasons, polygon count and stuff like this, it's not nearly as impressive as having the entire environment, the background included, all done in actual 3D graphics. Like Resident Evil, you have a map system, shows you where you are, and in many cases where you're trying to go. Like the Resident Evil map, it's a little bit confusing. It doesn't show the direction you're facing. You sort of have to figure that out for yourself. Picking up Mo discs, I said Mo discs like we're playing Resident Evil, but these discs that are used like keys throughout the game. Obviously you pick up a lot of items in this game, most of them used like keys. The game has a weird save feature. It basically has save rooms, and when you try to leave that room, it asks you if you want to save. So there's not a typewriter, but it's the same idea. You have to be in a certain room to save. You can't just save at any time or any place. So like I said, Resident Evil with dinosaurs, one cool thing is you can actually move. You can walk forward and backwards while you're holding out the gun, which you couldn't do in the first 3 Resident Evil games on the PlayStation. None of the Resident Evil games on the PlayStation, you could do that. Once you had the gun out, you were pretty much stationary, stuck in that spot. So that's kind of cool that they changed the controls a little bit. Make it a little bit more, well, less frustrating, I guess. You can walk away from the enemies while still holding the gun out. Now, once again, the graphics, I mean, you may not like them as much as the pre-rendered graphics in Resident Evil, but like I said, you have to admit they're they're pretty good for the PlayStation. This is PS1, and you know, they did a really good job with the 3D atmosphere and stuff in this game. Now I do have to make a confession. Now I am playing this game on easy, and you know, I've played this game before. I actually had this game back in the day when I had a PlayStation originally, and I really like this game. But it is really easy on easy, like Resident Evil 2 actually. When they started putting in the easy option, it's almost way too easy on easy, and then it's too hard on hard. You know, I wish there was a normal or a medium level to pick. How is that for a boss fight? Like I said, it's really easy, but in that situation there, I mean, it's just a giant head coming through the side of the wall, and you're kind of stuck there. So there's not really a lot you can do. It's just more like a cutscene, stand there and shoot it, than, you know, a real boss fight. But, you know, obviously, you know, he's coming back for more, so we didn't really kill him there. He just kind of walked away as he got bored with us shooting him in the face. As you can see here, sometimes in the game they'll give you a choice of what you want to do as far as your quest goes, or as far as the storyline goes. Now we see some pterodactyls. Time to pull out the shotgun, I think. The game has auto-aim like Resident Evil 2, and of course, like Resident Evil 2, you hold R1 to draw your gun, and you can tap L1 in this one to aim to re-aim, which I think you could do in Resident Evil 2 as well, and that comes in handy if you have more than one enemy on the screen or the enemy moves around really quickly. In this one you can press R2 to do a 180, and that comes in handy there sometimes to turn around quickly. Here I sped this up because this is another one of the puzzles, and I actually found this puzzle was pretty frustrating. At first I didn't really know what to do. You have 6 conduits here representing 6 positions that these pipes have to be in, and then you have 3 different colors on each conduit for that color of pipe for that position, and you basically have to get them all right, and you have to do some of them in the right order because you can't get one pipe down if another one's in the way. It'll come down and hit it and then go back up. So I actually found this puzzle to be really frustrating, and I kind of left thinking maybe I'm not supposed to be here yet, but then it turns out you can't actually leave. So it is kind of weird they just throw this puzzle in. It's a little bit harder, but here's another example of a puzzle actually. Once again, sped up. This is sped up 800%, by the way. So, you know, just to fly through this and show you how frustrating it was. Here you have a crane, and you have to move these, you know, shipping carton things out of the way to walk across, and you're up looking from the crane's point of view. And you can program so many moves into the crane, but as you can see, you only have a weird selection. Like, you can move it to the right twice, but you can't move it to the left twice. and you can program in the options, and then you hit run, and it runs through those programs. So it's kind of weird. Like, you gotta once again just do it in the right order. So it's a pretty cool puzzle, but it took me a while to figure it out, actually. Bunch of little, I have no idea what those things are, but the shotgun just loves them. I love the way these guys pop when you hit them with the shotgun here. They come running at you, pop! The shotgun just blows them away. And I'm pretty much going to leave it off here. A little bit more of the storyline going on. Like I said, I like this game. I like Resident Evil, and I think if you like the first, 4 Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3 on the PlayStation especially, and Code Veronica, you're going to love this one because it kind of controls and has the graphics of Code Veronica. Once again, it's very impressive on the PlayStation, I think. And I would, only recommend that you play it on easy if it's your first time going through, and then play it on hard, and I guess that gives it some replay value. But if you're going into this game the first time on hard, you're not gonna make it very far. At least I didn't. Anyways, once you figure out what to do and where to go, where the ammo is, and stuff like that, it's not really nearly as hard as it makes itself out to be at first. But yeah, you can go through it on easy, and then go through it on hard if you want to go through it again. But it's a great game, and I highly recommend it.